Hi, Justin here from Combative Edge Martial Arts. I'm glad you guys joined me on my morning rock. And it's a bit chilly out this morning. Winter is trying to hang on, but we'll burn it out, don't you worry. Today, I want to talk to you about something. I had to actually talk to my kids about this. In my school, we had belts on Friday. Kids are doing great, but some kids didn't do as great as they thought they would do in their head. We had some tears, so we had to talk it out. And what we talked about was that 90% of the time in life, you're gonna fail, right? And then the last 10% of constantly trying and doing and failing and moving forward, you succeed. But that 10% is life-changing. Life-changing. And that's what you have to understand. We're going to fail more in life than we're going to succeed. But the success that we get is absolutely life-changing. And that's why it's worth it. However, and that 90%, that's where most people give up. Because they just don't see it. And for every failing, there's a lesson. For every loss, there's a lesson. Right? The question is, what is the lesson that you're supposed to learn? Now, all of this is easier said than done. Why? Because there's one thing that gets in the way. It makes us human. It's what makes us great. It's what will make us us. And what is that? Emotions. Your emotions get in the way. And that is why a lot of times when we fail or we don't do as well, we don't see the lesson because our emotions are in the way. And that is what we have to work on. Once when we can get the emotional factor out of the way, then you're good to go. Now, don't get me wrong, we're human. Especially if you're working on something big and you don't do well, it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be a little, emotional about it, but not to the point where you can't learn from it. You got to be able to learn from your failing moments, right? So what do you need? In order to do this, what do you need? You need a what? A positive mindset, okay? You have to look at your failing moment with a positive mind, and that way you can start to pick the fruit of the lessons that you're supposed to learn. Because you're supposed to learn, right? There's a lesson you have to learn. To get to that 10% of success that you want to get, you need all of those lessons to get there. And if you don't have that positive mind, and you're stuck in that negative emotional state, and you are not learning that lesson, it will take you twice as long to get to that 10%. All right? Just remember, have a positive mind. Anytime you anytime that you fail, anytime you don't do as well, have a positive mindset. It will help you control the emotions of what you're going through, the emotions of what you're going through, so that you can see the lesson that you're supposed to learn. Alright? Justin here from Combative Edge Martial Arts. We'll see you next time. It's windy, it's nippy, bundle up, rise above the average, and have a great day. Bye-bye.